guys, this is the story of the Larutania, built by the Black Star Line, well, the Red Liners, the Black Liner Star. But why it was called that was because it was actually built by Black Star Line and Red Liner Star as they merged together in 1928. And then on March 2nd, it had been launched. With 1,652 people aboard to help the ship guide through the water. Later on, the Larutania went to a full stop for a few minutes as two tender boats had came by to help the ship. And also it was getting towed by a tugboat also. As it took them 8 months to refit the ship. Shortly after that, 8 months later, the ship had been fitted with funnels and everything. As well. Then on its maiden voyage, it had went to Halifax, and nothing seriously bad would happen, but it had the same amount of people as of how many people were on it during its launch. But the Larutania had been had basically been based off of the design of Canard's Mauritania and Lusitania in Africa. It was only the design that didn't look much like it. The larutania had on its sea trials, it was able to hit 24 knots. Almost 30 miles per hour. But sadly, on the maiden voyage of the Lauretania, there was a severe fire in the boiler room, and we had to they cannot let the ship sail in those conditions because of how because of how flooded it was. But also they had to get towed by a tugboat to Halifax because they cannot delay the voyage. As also the engine had overheated and that's what fully made them have to do that. the larutania had also the larutania was probably one of the best ships. Well, arguably one of the best ships. Red Liner startup. It was the RMS Beauty had completely. It was actually probably the best ship from Red Liner Star, but we're not going to talk much about that ship because that's not what this video is about. Also, but sadly, the Lauritania had multiple times it was almost gotten scrapped, but what happened to it was they started scrapping it, but they only got to the funnels when scrapping it. But also they had to make the tugboat leave because it was shaking the ship way too much, and people were barely hanging on to the sides because of how much of a list it was causing. Also, the larutania also it was just a longer version of the the aquatania, because it was 1,002 feet, well, 998 feet long. Also, once it had a sail-by salute to the RMS Olympic. But the larutania had once, it was torpedoed, but I'm gonna show you that in a little bit. The larutania had been pretty well at dodging U-boats in World War II, but sadly, once it got hit by a torpedo, and that's when they thought it's time to scrap this ship. And in 1958 they were gonna do that, but instead what happened was it was chosen to be completely gutted and then refitted so that they wouldn't have to for another 20 years. And that happened in 1972. But once during World War II, they had 2,077 people aboard, ready to get to dock. But sadly, what happened was it started sinking by a torpedo. And it looked like history would have repeated itself just like with what happened to the Lusitania, just it didn't look like this. Shortly after that, in 1954, it would go on its so-called last voyage. As it would go to the scrapyard with scrap. As then straight ahead would be the scrapyard. if the ship were to be scrapped. But now today, the ship serves and today it is in port. And it's not as famous as the Queen Mary because no sightings have ever been found in that ship. At first, the destination for the ship was in Halifax, but shortly after that, it was changed to New York because it's from New York and it's the Red Liner store still owns the ship, and they chose to take it to New York, and then it was ported there for a while, and yep, that's the story of the larutania. Bye guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.